Hey guys, this video is by special request, and the request was for me to talk about life after divorce. So about today, and there are 2 points that I want to make, and the first one is having a support system, and the second one is reinventing yourself. And these 2 points are so intertwined that, I'm just going to talk about them, together. So, having a support system, okay. This is your friends and your family, your coworkers, people in your life who care about you. That's your support system. And a lot of times, unfortunately, when people get married, they have a tendency to completely lose themselves in their spouse. And what I mean by that is, they stop hanging out with their friends. They stop visiting their family. They cut people out, and they totally devote their lives to their spouse. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. It's your prerogative. Do what you want. But what I'm saying is, this can turn out to be a bad thing if, by chance, you get divorced. Because now you have cut off all ties to everyone who cares about you besides your spouse. And now that your spouse is gone, now that the marriage is over, it's like you feel alone. Like, who do you turn to? Who do you rely on? Who do you spend time with? Who do you confide in? Because your friends and your family, life didn't stop when you got married. So, they have gone on with their lives, and most of the time, not including you. If you have cut yourself out, or if you have cut them out of your lives, I should say, people go on with their lives. They don't just sit around waiting for you to call them. So, yes, support system. You may have to rebuild those relationships. I got notes. You may have to rebuild those relationships, those friendships, siblings, relatives, any relatives you can think of. You may have to give out some sincere apologies. You may have to humble yourself and, apologize for not being there when you could have been there, for, your friends and family that you had cut out. But a true friend is going to be a friend regardless of how much time has passed. And, family is always family, so there's no getting around that. And so, yeah, you may have to work at rebuilding those relationships, but, it's worth it because no one can go it alone. People aren't meant to be alone. They're not. So, people need people. They need companionship. They need friendship. They need intimacy. And all of these things don't have to come from a marriage relationship. They can come from, intimate friendships. They can come from family relations, basically, is what I'm saying. So, make sure that you have a strong support system. If you're contemplating divorce, or in the process of a divorce, or recently divorced, it's important that you have a strong support system, someone who's going to, care about you and listen to you and be what you need them to be to you at that point in your life. And the reinventing yourself, okay. Get back into the things that you love, go back to work, volunteer your services, become more active in church, become a big brother or a big sister, learn to play an instrument, travel, do all those things that you didn't do because you were so busy being married. You're so busy be devoting your time to your spouse or your kids, your family, whatever. You know, get back into you, learn who you are, what you love, what you like, what you enjoy. You know, get back into being you. And that will help a lot because, you know, the more idle time that you have, the more idle time that your mind has, the more you have a tendency to dwell on things as to, you know, what could have been, what should have been, what didn't happen, or, you know, those. It's not good to go back into that. You know, I believe in letting the past be the past, and you know, a lot of times when people don't have anything else to do, they run back over past experience in their lives and, you know, regrets and all that stuff. Just don't go there. Just throw that out the window, and you know, spend more time getting into you and, you know, learning who you really are and what you really love and enjoy. And let's see. Abstinence. Abstinence and celibacy. Okay. These two words, basically the same thing. Very important. Very important after divorce because, you know, when you're used to having a sexual relationship and now that relationship is now gone, most people are like, okay, what do I do now? What do I do now? Yes, I do believe in abstinence. Yes, I do believe in celibacy. And yes, I do teach that because I've been there myself. I know that abstinence and celibacy are possible because I've done it. I have friends who have done it. So, you know, it can be done. Sex is not a need, it's a want. And, you know, everyone has sexual desires. There's not a person on this planet who doesn't have sexual desires, but are you in control of your sexual desires is the point that I'm trying to make. So, you know, whatever it takes for you to maintain self-control, because that's what it's about. You know, it's not you need sex. You may want sex, but you don't need sex. So, self-control, practice it. You know, learn other avenues, learn other ways to spend your time, learn how to change your way of thinking as far as if you're one of those people who, you know, tends to go into fantasy land. Yeah, it's very important not to let your mind get the best of you because, you know, once your mind is gone, you know, the body's going to follow. If your mind is on that, the body's going to follow. So it's very important to keep your mind in check. And, you know, if it means prayer, if it means fasting, if it means reading your Bible, if it means getting out of the house and spending time with friends, family, with that support system, they come in handy now. Occupy your mind, because if you don't occupy your mind, you know, it's very easy for those thoughts to come in and take control. And that's what you don't want, because where your mind goes, your body's going to follow, like I said. So, yes, these are just, you know, a few helpful tips that were requested as far as life after divorce. You know, get back into you, rebuild your support system if necessary, or if it's not necessary to rebuild it, then, you know, definitely get more involved with it, because that support system is what is going to help you make it through this to where you are not, you know, sitting up depressed, wallowing in regret. Move on. You know, who said that life is over once you get divorced? I have so many friends who have thought this way, and you know, it's a weird question that my friends have asked me, but a few of my friends have asked me this, like, do you see me differently now that I'm divorced, or now that I'm getting divorced? No, I don't see you any differently. You're still a friend, and I still love you. So, like I said, divorce is not the end of life. It's not. Life goes on. move on. You can find someone new if that's what you so choose to do. I don't recommend you doing that until you know who you really are, though, because it's really easy to jump right back into another relationship, and you may not be emotionally ready for that yet. So, like I said, spend some time figuring out who you really are and what you want and what you love, what you enjoy, because a lot of times when we get married, we lose ourselves in our spouse, and that's not good, because then if the marriage ends, the marriage is over, and you wake up like, who am I? You don't even know yourself anymore, because you were so devoted to that person that you lost who you were in the process. So, that's my advice, you guys, and take it or leave it, but I think it's a pretty good advice, so I wouldn't be giving it if it wasn't requested of me. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video, and life after divorce is still life. It's still a good life. Life is not over because you got divorced, guys. So don't think that, please. Yeah, so there you go. All right, you guys, take care.